There are some spells in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition that are called ritual spells, and they're some of my favorite spells in the game. The best part about it is they don't take a spell slot if you use it that way, and they tend to have a lot of really great utility. In this video, we're going to go over how ritual spells work. We're going to talk about how you can use that knowledge and maximize your spell choices throughout your gameplay, and then also go over a list of some notable ritual spells that are some of my favorites. I'm Jake from JNJtabletop. Let's get going. The rules for ritual casting can be found on page 201 of the Player's Handbook, as well as on D&D Beyond, and I'm going to put a link to that in the description below so you can follow along if you like. If a spell has the ritual tag, that actually means there's two ways that you can cast that spell. You can either cast the spell as a normal spell, you just look at the casting time and then use a spell slot, and there you go. Or you can spend an extra 10 minutes on the casting time and then cast the spell without having to use a spell slot, which is just fantastic. It is worth noting that if you do use the ritual method, you can't upcast the spell if it does happen to have an effect that would be appropriate to do so. To cast a ritual spell, you have to have the ritual caster ability, and that can be either located in your class features or as part of a feat that you could take called ritual caster. Typically, that means that you have to have the spell prepared or known in order to do that. And I say typically because wizards, all they have to do is have the spell in their spell book, which is a great feature and a great way that wizards can kind of exploit things and have a little bit more at their disposal than some of the other casting classes. So how do we apply this knowledge to our gameplay? Well, once again, this is going to affect your spell choices, whether the spells you learn, like if you're a bard or a warlock, or the ones that you're preparing for a day, a lot. So it's really nice to know that no matter what's going on with your spell slots, you could be full, you could have half, you could have none, you always have access to these amazing utility spells. So it's really good to make sure you take one or two of these to make sure that you and your party has a smooth ride through some of the craziness that the Dungeon Master is going to throw at you. And so if you're a wizard, this feature gets really nice. So one thing, let's just take level 1 because it's nice and simple. You get to learn 6 level 1 spells in your spell book. And if you have an intelligence score of 16 or 17 and you have that +3 modifier, that means you're going to be able to prepare 4 spells for that day. Well, if you have 6 spells and you can only prepare 4, if 2 of them are ritual spells, the wizard gets to break the ritual spells rule a little bit. So I kind of would take 2 ritual spells and then prepare the other 4, and it's kind of like you have more at your disposal than you're typically supposed to as a wizard. So that's how ritual spells work. Pretty easy stuff, but as usual with Dungeons & Dragons, sometimes the subtleties can kind of maximize things one way or the other and can add a lot of fun to your game, which is what we're all about here at JNJtabletop. Like I said, before you go, I'm going to have a list of ritual spells playing for the end screen to make sure that you can get some nice stuff in your hands. Please tell me about any favorites you have in the comments or any questions you have in the comment section down below. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and subscribe to this channel for more Dungeons & Dragons content. All right, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take care.